All right, guys, the weekend is here, which means it's time for us to do our homework. In this video, it's about BigBear.AI stock, BBAI stock, and we actually had two major things happen today. One is the fact that it was able to go green, closing about 0.8% up from where it closed the previous day on a day that there was so much blood in the market. So even though the background market bias was so negative, this thing was actually able to recover a little bit. And then it also happened to have a pretty important gap fill as well. I'm going to share those technicals with you and more and give you an idea of what we could see coming up for us. Should we expect a further drop or should we see this thing start to recover? I'm going to share those technicals with you. I have that and more over at the Discord. I'm just one of the team of experts over there dedicated to helping you in your journey towards financial freedom and building alpha in your portfolio. Code word Dr. Guys is going to get you 50% off the first month sign up. And the coupon code does expire soon in just a couple days here, so make sure you take advantage of it. All right, daily chart. Here we go. We have a gap back here on June 27th on that Friday where we peaked out at 598. Today during regular trading hours, we went all the way down to 601. And it was actually, if you look at the hourly chart, we can find out that at 4 a.m., sometime in the hour between 4 and 5 a.m. Eastern time, this thing bottomed out at $5.98 exactly, and that constitutes that completed fill of the gap, if you will. And let's go back out to the daily chart and look at a few more things. First of all, we closed up above the 50 EMA. Perfect. We're down below the 13 and the 5, which I said could show us some near-term weakness. That is not talking bad about the stock. That's responding to the technicals. And it did allow me to capitalize on the way down through selling calls and then also through buying puts. Over here, I was selling puts and that happened and we had that run up and then I sold some more calls and it was great. So now that we're over here, what am I doing? Well, I'm holding on to the 200 shares that I have and I will continue to trade around BigBear.AI as I think there's a fair amount of volatility left. Now, we did get rejected around that 5 EMA and that's important because if we want near-term strength to come back, we have to be trading above the 5 EMA. And we can see that if we go to the last time that we got that crossover. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. We're going to go back all the way over here to where we were actually trading down below the 200 and the 50, where we had the cross right here of the 5 and the 13. We started trading above it, had a little bit of a rough shape, but then when we were actually able to sit on top of the 5 and the 13 and the 50, that's where that bullishness came in. We dipped down below it again, crossed above the 5, and that's where we really caught that rocket ship, and we have that confirmatory evidence of that rise coming in. That's what I'm looking for on the daily chart. The RSI is down at 47. It's down below the 13 and the 5. Yeah, we caught support at the 50 right now, but I still want to see further evidence that we're going to turn this thing around. This is a good start. The fact that it looks like near term that we found that bottom. Let's jump out to the monthly chart because the monthly chart we actually have in August, dropping down below what we saw here for this high wicked candle for July. That's important for us. We are bullish for momentum overall. We have the 13 crossing the 50. I'll put it in center screen here. The yellow crossing over the red. This is a bullish crossover on a longer time horizon, which means that overall we're still in bullish territory with a near-term pullback like I had talked about. And if we drop down to a weekly chart, what do we see? We might have right here between the 50 and the 200, a golden cross coming up if the price action can continue to trade higher than what it has mostly in the past here. So we want to see these elevated prices continue. We did close down below the 5-week, but we're above the 13-week, the 250-week. So overall, still in bullish territory. We do have a drop in momentum, but we're still in bullish territory on a weekly basis. And if we go out to a daily basis, yeah, we are subdued just south of 50, but we could turn around. This could be the start of it. Monday's really important for us. Let's drop back down to the hourly chart and reset the view just to see a little bit more of what we have. You can see this minor consolidation that we had during the off-peak hours, during the extended hours trading before the market opened, and some decent and sustained volumes all throughout as we crossed in a near-term intraday sense back up above the 5 and the 13, and then we were able to hold on to those. If you look between 2 and 3, right here where this candle is, we actually caught 13 period support after getting rejected off the 50. This thing could push back up above the 50-hour EMA that you see come across here, hopefully getting us back up towards that $7 mark, around where that 200 EMA is on this. If we look at the 4-hour chart, so increasing the time frames, you can see a decent looking engulfing candle, not as good as NVTS's daily chart. That right there, my friends, is one heck of an engulfing candle with some half-decent volume to go with it. Slightly above average for what we see. Nothing explosive like we had back on the 21st of July, but it could be enough that the earnings for NVTS on There we go. Monday in the after hours could be pretty darn exciting. So that's on my list too. But back to BigBear.AI. Their earnings, by the way, on August 11th, another Monday, a week after NVTS does theirs. This looks like temporarily we could have found ourselves some support to hold on to. And then putting the technicals up, you can see it starts to become a game of resistances. Now, some important things to look at on here. Let me take down a lot of the noise just so we can pay attention to the very, very crucial information. Here's some more important stuff. We actually had from this bear channel a structural breakout today. We got a candle outside of it, and you might also notice going across, let me take down the rectangles, this line coming across your screen, we lost that support, that trend line support, but then we quickly recovered back up above it in that next 4-hour time frame, currently sitting on top of it. So we have a bearish structure break, and then we also have that trend line support that we quickly peekabooed down through and then almost had it as resistance, but we just smashed through it anyway, sat on top of it, so we confirmed it as support again. That's what I mean about having like near-term reasons to be hopeful for BigBear.AI stock, and reasons why we could be seeing early signs that we might turn back around. On a 4-hour basis, we're above the 5 EMA. In the after hours here, still down south of the 13. That 513 cross is near-term bullishness. We want to be watchful for that. Monday could be very exciting. So in terms of BigBear.AI, why do I keep following it? Why am I so excited about it? Well, because it's a company that has the right atmosphere and it's in the right part of the market to really capitalize on some serious governmental cash in the near term. And for a company as small as it is, quite a few million thrown its way. It doesn't even have to be billions, but if it is, that'd be great. Billions, this thing would go bonkers, it would go astronomical. But just a little bit of revenue could go a long way, especially because they can continue to build out and show further adoption. And they have a CEO who has the right connections in order to make things fill out. There's a lot of reasons why people are very interested in this stock and why I remain interested in this stock and why I keep on tracking it as well. So it's popular for a reason. And I gotta say, I enjoy those reasons as well. I think that this one, with that backlog of contracts, I think some of them are gonna start hitting sooner than later, and it doesn't even have to hit half of them for it to be exciting. It can hit about a tenth of them and still double their quarterly revenue of about 35-ish million. And I think that that's something to be excited about. In the meantime, though, while we're waiting for that news, some factual stuff that we have is this structural break that we have out of the bear channel. Good. We also have this support coming across here, which is where it was formed from the peak that we had going back to the 25th. And then through here, we also had some touches on it. And then we really found it as support on the 14th of July before the next rise that we had. And now we find it as support again. We do want to see eventually a higher high coming in because so far we have a lower high and a lower low, which means that this thing could still travel downward in the meantime. But I think that this is a good start to have that structural break, to have that support at the 50 EMA. Get back on top of the 5 EMA on the daily chart. That's exactly what I'm waiting for to see, because that could be that early sign. A 513's even bigger. The higher the time frame chart, the longer the trend it can signal. And that's why I think the monthly chart and weekly chart are very important to look at. These intraday charts, these ones that are lower than that daily time frame, they're going to be noisier for us. They're going to give more false signals. They do signal more near-term movement, but not necessarily the overall movements that we're looking for that we'd see in the higher time frame charts. So what am I going to do about this? Well, right now I'm just holding on to the 200 shares. I may have said that already. I'm not currently in any options, puts, calls, long or short, you name it. I'm not holding on to any of them yet going into this weekend, just because I was going to sell some calls, but I was like, well, you know what? Given the structural breakout that we have, I'm just going to sit and hold on to my shares for right now. We'll watch and see what happens. With the background market bias taking place as well, how long is BigBear.AI able to push up on that? We actually have news about Trump and nuclear submarines moving into place around Russia and all that kind of stuff, and more geopolitical risk can actually be a strength for them instead. So kind of an exciting time, guys. I think that you guys should keep on watching this stock. I'm going to keep on watching this stock, and I keep on reporting on it as well. I think that there's a good likelihood that the bottom is in, at least for temporary purposes, before we get at least a little bit more of a price pump. Maybe we get that run up to earnings. We really do want to look for a higher high to come in. And we might have to wait a little bit for that to happen. We'll see. If the market recovers significantly, so BBAI stock on the way up, the market also there to push it as well, that's going to be just extra force, if you will. Think of it like jumping on a trampoline, where there's you jumping, but also the trampoline jumping, or maybe it's the double jump that you get where you're on the trampoline jumping and somebody else jumps at the same time, and you both push down and then get that big old spring. That would be pretty darn incredible to watch and see. But guys, in the meantime, I gave you my report on BigBear.AI stock. Come on over and join us at the Discord. Remember, there's a whole team of experts over there to support you in your journey towards financial freedom and building alpha in your portfolio, on top of the community of thousands of members who are already over there who can share their ideas as well, and you can interact with, and you have that support during the downturns and those people to celebrate with when you make that cash. And then also the coursework through Stockholm Academy, you can find that in the description as well. Code word doctor works for both of those links, whichever one that you choose to sign up for. If it's both, great. I think you're going to find a lot of value with both of them. If you bundle the two courses together, technical analysis with trading, and then also the options course, bundle those two together with code word doctor, that's maximum savings because you also get the bundle discount. And the Discord, make sure you use the earner tier when you sign up with the code word doctor, so you can get the maximum savings there and access to everything that Discord has to offer. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your weekend. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you next video.